you guys, welcome back to See Mindy Mom. Today I am sharing with you some more ideas for emergency meals that can be made from shelf-stable ingredients, so stay tuned. All right, you guys, a while back I made a video where I showed how I was storing some pantry ingredients that could be used to create some meals in an emergency situation where all that I have is a heat source. I talked about how my idea for that video actually came about as a result of an historic winter storm that we endured here in Oklahoma several months ago, where lots of people lost power, including us, for a few hours. And it had me kind of wondering, what would I do? How would I prepare meals for my family if I have a heat source and nothing else? I have a gas range, as you can see behind me, and we have a gas grill outside, and I know some people have camping stoves that they were utilizing out on their porches to prepare meals for their family. So I just showed some ideas, and I even made a few of the meals, and I showed you how I was storing those meals, and I did that with ingredients that I purchased at Walmart. That video was pretty popular, and a lot of you asked if I would make another video and maybe feature ingredients from another store. So this time I'm doing the same thing, except I shopped at Dollar Tree. And several of you had great ideas for other ways that these meals could be utilized, like maybe taking them to a friend or a neighbor in need, or maybe sending them back with a college kid for something easy that they can make in a very small kitchen. Some of you said you were maybe gonna store those in your camper for camping trips, and several of you commented that those were really good ideas that you would be utilizing in your hurricane boxes for emergencies. So as I was thinking about and planning for making another one of these videos, Hurricane Ida hit the Gulf in the United States, and it wreaked a lot of devastation, especially in southern Louisiana. My husband and I actually tithe the revenue from this channel to charities, specifically to charities that address issues of food and housing insecurity. And sometimes we also give to organizations that support foster children and families, as that is an issue that is very near and dear to our hearts. So I want to let you know that this month's donation will be going to the Salvation Army Disaster Relief Fund to help victims of Hurricane Ida. And thank you for making that possible by watching my videos, by commenting, by engaging with this channel. We really appreciate your support. So let's jump into the video now. I'll take you on a little tour of my Dollar Tree where I'm hashing out some ideas, and then also do a little cook with me where we're maybe working on some of these recipes. These box potato mixes are basically just dehydrated potatoes. So when you add moisture to them, they reconstitute. So I think you could do a lot with these. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could make like a potato soup with these if you use some, like canned milk or some of that box shelf-stable milk they have. The potatoes and usually the seasonings are separate in this. I don't know in this box, but typically the seasonings are a separate packet. So you could use the potatoes and make them one way, and then use the seasoning mix maybe to make a broth. I'm thinking you could use 1 or 2 boxes of these with like a can of cream and chicken and some of the box milk or the milk from the can and some water, and probably make a potato soup. But lots of things you could do with these potatoes, especially since they come with seasoning. You don't have to make them according to the box directions. There are all kinds of workarounds for that. I wanted to point out that while there are some good deals on some standard size packages of pantry staples, more is not always better at Dollar Tree. I was very pleased to see these little bottles of Parmesan cheese that are like the regular grated Parmesan cheese that you would buy elsewhere. And then I saw these big bottles sitting right next to them, and I thought, what a great value. But whenever I looked at the back and started to search the ingredient list, Parmesan is way, way down at the bottom. So no thanks, I'll just buy the smaller bottle of the real stuff. These are some decent pantry stable breakfast options that I have found in store, and I'm not purchasing these because I already bought some similar items to include in my little emergency meal storage bin in my pantry. But they do have instant oatmeal in a couple of different flavors. They have it in a plain flavor as well, and there are 6 packets in here for $1. They have these that are kind of like what's the name brand of the breakfast biscuits that are really popular? They had some that were like a peanut butter sandwich type style too, but these are the blueberry. And then these are just kind of a generic brand of a Nutri-Grain bar. And I actually have this very box in my car. I will eat these sometimes on my way to a workout, or they're a good quick snack for like quick sugar for somebody who's on their way to like a practice, like, or a workout or something like that. So there's some options there that I found for pantry stable breakfast items. Belvita, that's what it is. Belvita is the name brand of the breakfast biscuits, I think, that are pretty popular, and these are some of the similar options they have here at Dollar Tree. Of course, Dollar Tree also had plenty of options that were ready to eat or heat and eat options like canned soups, canned tuna, different kinds of canned pastas, flavored rices, and so on. Here is another super easy meal idea that you could throw together using shelf-stable ingredients from Dollar Tree. It is egg noodles with pesto sauce and peas. You could also throw in a can of chicken or tuna if you wanted to add some more protein to it. But egg noodles actually have a decent amount of protein on their own because they're made with eggs. So each serving actually has 8 grams of protein. So pasta sometimes gets a bad rap because people think it's not a protein-rich food, but even regular pasta that's not made with eggs, just regular like spaghetti, has sometimes 7 or 8 grams of protein per serving. But I'm not going to get this and make it because my family does not care for peas, so I would be eating this all by myself. Complete pancake mixes, always a decent option. If you have a heat source to cook them on, you would want to be looking for one that's complete, meaning that it doesn't require milk and eggs, because some of them do, but a lot of them are just add water or milk. And again, you could use like the box milk or the evaporated milk if you wanted to. I've never had the store brand of this, like the Dollar Tree Harvest Hill pancake and waffle mix, but mine has these Betty Crocker ones, and this is an even bigger package than the store brand. So there's another breakfast option for you, or dinner. We eat pancakes for dinner all the time. What I have going on here is what I like to think of as a slightly more grown-up version of SpaghettiOs. And I realized that this would be even better if we were making these sauces from scratch. But again, the concept of this video is to try to come up with some ideas using very limited resources, and when we might also be limited on time. So I'm gonna use a can of this Prego Alfredo sauce and a can of Hunt's pasta sauce, which I picked up at Dollar Tree. And I'm also going to add about half a can of water from each can, and that sort of gets the remnants of the sauces out from the bottom of the can and also adds a little bit more liquid to our sauce, which we will need because we're going to cook the pasta in the sauce. So I just seasoned mine with a little bit of pepper and some Italian seasoning. This is totally optional, or you could use whatever seasonings you want. I gave that a stir and I heated it up, and this is what it looks like, nice and creamy. I'm going to pour my pasta in so it can cook right in the sauce. I brought that up to a simmer, turned it down to low and covered it, and I let it cook for about 12 minutes or so until the pasta was done. But I did take the lid off and stir it a couple of times during the cooking process. Because this has Alfredo sauce in it, it is more prone to scorch, so I didn't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. When my pasta was done cooking, I stirred in about half of this little bitty bottle of Parmesan that I picked up at Dollar Tree just to sort of enhance the cheesy flavor. And I just served this with some plain old from the can green beans, and it was really good. We had this for lunch one day and it made a lot. I definitely think that this recipe would feed a crowd. I mean, we're talking about a 20-ounce box of pasta that went into this. So I was actually able to freeze a few portions of this so that we could have it later on for lunches, but it turned out really great. I picked up all 3 of these items at my Dollar Tree, and I know it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest ideas are the ones that we need. And so all 3 of these things would combine to create a beans and rice type supper, but hopefully with a little bit more enhanced flavor with the jambalaya rice mix. I would probably just toss the beans and the tomatoes in with the rice as it's cooking to create just a really yummy one-pot meal. These are some ingredients just to make a really quick, easy chicken tortilla or chicken taco soup. I have a can of corn, a can of rotel, 2 cans of chicken, and then 1 can of refried beans. And when I use refried beans in a soup like this, these act as kind of a thickener. If I'm not using, some kind of cheese or half and half or some kind of cream soup, I feel like using the refried beans kind of gives it a creamy texture, which I really like for this soup. And then I have just a packet of taco seasoning to season that. And also there's some chicken bouillon little packets in here. I'd probably throw maybe 1 or 2 of those in there along with some water for the liquids. And I would probably just, throw that all together in a pot and simmer it on low until we were ready to eat it. And I even found some tortilla strips, a small bag of tortilla strips that we could use to top that soup with. So there's another idea for you. All right, you guys, I hope that that is helpful, and I hope that that is inspiring in some way, or that just maybe gives some ideas. If you are interested in making a donation, I will leave a link to the Salvation Army Disaster Fund in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be sure to check in with another video very soon.